Hi, I'm Mark King, Investment Editor at Columbia Threadneedle Investments, and here's what's in my weekly column. In the wake of the UK referendum on EU membership and the US election result, we now have another event that could see the political shift to the right continue, this time back in Europe. The Italian referendum takes place on the 4th of December, and it asks the public to agree or disagree with a number of key reforms. The most important relates to the Senate. The proposal in the referendum would cut the total number of senators, strip the Senate of its ability to bring down a government, and limit its ability to block legislation. The Senate reform was proposed by Prime Minister Matteo Renzi, and fans of the reform argue that it will stabilise Italy's political structure and allow for quicker decision making. Critics, on the other hand, say it's not as democratic as the current system. So how will the market react to a yes or a no vote in the Italian referendum? Well, a yes vote will likely be received positively by markets, at least in the short term, and an emboldened Renzi may choose to reform other laws that will help him fend off a future election challenge from the anti-EU and anti-Euro five-star movement. But if Renzi's proposals are rejected by the Italian public, this would likely be received negatively by markets in the short term, while the longer-term impacts are less clear and do depend on whether Renzi resigns in the wake of his referendum defeat. Beyond the issue of Senate reform, the referendum has been seen by many Italians as a chance to air their general discontent with the establishment, much like the recent Brexit referendum in the UK, not to mention the success of Donald Trump. Other potential political flashpoints include the Dutch general election on the 15th of March 2017 and upcoming French and German elections next year, not to mention Article 50 being invoked in the UK. We'll be keeping an eye on these geopolitical risks, just as we do other market influences. Elsewhere this week, the UK government announced that the flat rate state pension will rise by 2.5% from next April, meaning the current Chancellor has stuck with the Conservatives' pledge to keep the triple lock agreement, which guarantees that pensioners' state income will rise each year by the highest of either inflation, average earnings growth, or 2.5%. So from next April, pensioners in receipt of the full flat rate state pension will indeed see their income increase from £155.65 a week to £159.55. That's £3.90, or the price of a pint of beer in many areas of the country. I have said this before, but clearly the state pension should not be looked at as the sole source of income for pensioners. It will either fall short of what you might expect to live on when you stop working, or you may not be eligible to begin taking your state pension when you want to. The solution is to begin pension saving from an early age. Those who start their pension saving young are likely to generate an impressive return over decades, but even those who may have underinvested in a pension might still have time to top it up. Do speak to an independent financial advisor if you're unsure of how to get your retirement planning back on track. See you next week.